Hey, this is Talk K Dramas with Bruce and Dallas.
Hey.
Episode 6.
Yes.
Hello, me.
Mm-hmm.
We're back from having COVID.
It's been rough, folks. It's been rough. 4 out of 5 of us went down with this
Yes.
one. So,
And I think you're way better.
oh, I'm way, yeah.
I think I had a sinus infection because if you look at me at that last video, episode 5, you didn't see episode 5.
I did not.
I almost ditched it, cut it and be like, it was gonna be like, I can't find it. I don't know what happened because I looked horrible. I think that's when COVID entered my body.
Yeah.
My eyes were even the neighbor was like, Alice, you look terrible.
In the video? She saw the video?
No. When she came over.
Okay.
She just said my eyes
were
all black. And I think that's because I was also having a sinus infection.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, because I was having something going on.
Well, just sinus problems,
yeah. And then we got COVID, and yeah. So if you didn't see me on that last episode, man, I was like, what is wrong with my face?
Yeah.
I look possessed. COVID possessed me. Anyways, we're better.
You look beautiful to me always.
Okay.
Always.
Thank you. So anyways,
my 3 sentences.
Yes, your 3 sentences.
And so sentence number 1, Ha-ni, the older Ha-ni, with some very quick thinking, comes to save the day with a box of taped together snacks. Sentence number 2, the younger Ha-ni, I guess the word is, confronts Anthony about his younger self, his true identity, let's say it like that. And then sentence number 3 is the radiance of the older Ha-ni starts to reemerge as her and Miss O compete with each other at the office celebration party. Those are my 3 sentences.
Okay. There you go, trying to get all fancy again.
What? Why is that fancy?
Okay. Anyways, so last episode, it ends with Ha-ni chasing after the younger Ha-ni.
Yes.
Dressed up as kelp. And then Anthony hears the name.
Yes. Here's the name Ha-ni.
For the first time. And we know he was already thinking about her.
Yes.
Because of the shaman.
Right.
He said, remember your first love, maybe? Something like that. Or why you did this.
You did this in the first place. Yeah.
Yes. So he goes chasing after them, and he meets up with the older Ha-ni. And remember, they have a thing going.
Yes.
A little thing from episode
Testicles.
1. He calls her testicles. So nasty.
Yeah.
And so anyway.
What did she call him? It was something about pooping in the woods. Anthony?
I don't know. Did she have a name for him?
I think there was a name. I think it was like Poop Anthony or something like that. It was anyway, but go ahead.
I don't know which one's worse, to be called testicles or poop.
Definitely testicles is worse.
Okay, so remember last episode, Ha-ni was on a errand to go pick up the ingredients.
Yes.
Because they were going to have a meeting and they needed the product.
Correct.
But there was an issue with the ingredients and the baker.
Right.
And so she was going to go hand deliver.
Yeah. She needed to take the ingredients from one space to another space so that that place can make it.
Yes. And then she can take it back to the meeting.
Yes.
So this is where Hyun sees her and says, I think she's waiting for a taxi. And Hyun walks by. And again, he comes to her rescue and he uses the company car to take her.
Yes, yeah.
And so it's funny because
which is funny. I heard the window being busted or something like that.
Was it?
Yes, yeah, because it was because people were reading the car and they were like, "Squid good is full of squid." Yeah. And that couple that was next to him, they were like, "Are they the squid?"
Yes.
Being silly about it, but she was like, so Ha-ni was like trying to shrink down and roll the window up, and he was like, the window don't work.
Oh.
Just here, take these shades and act cool. That's what you're supposed to do right now.
So it was kind of funny because Well, his little spy, remember he has a spy
Yes.
in
Yeah.
the workplace. And so the spy goes to the kitchen to work for him.
Yeah.
And then while they're in the car, she's wondering what's going on. Like, does he have some plan? They're still thinking, they're calling him Bluebird.
Bluebird, yes.
And then there's a little flashback of when Ha-ni and the young Ha-ni saw him with that woman who is his aunt or stepmom or something.
Yeah.
And so she had a little flashback, like remembering, because remember they thought he was a gigolo.
Yes.
So she's like, what is Bluebird up to?
Right.
So she's thinking maybe
we got to look that reference up. I'm fascinated with the Bluebird reference. Yeah, I know what it is, but I just want to know. I just want to know the actual movie.
We'll look it up. We can look up. Don't forget.
Yeah.
I'll put a little note here. A star on my notes.
My wife.
So we don't
taking
forget.
Notes. It's amazing.
So then we see, no big deal. There's a scene with the nephew and the CEO eating dinner, and they're trying to figure out about Hyun. And his father says his laughter makes my heart sting because his mom died.
Right.
And he's always smiling, and the dad says something like I think it's the cousin. It's the cousin. They actually said that in this episode, that he's a cousin.
Okay.
It's his nephew. So the nephew says something like, I think he's doing it on purpose, like to make you happy, to be considerate to you. And the dad's like, what, him? No, because there probably is some pain there. I mean, he lost his mom.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So anyways, so going back to the commercial, the Squid commercial, Anthony finds out he's in the running. So that changes his whole demeanor.
Yeah.
And he does the commercial, and they're like, wow.
Dude gets busy in the squid costume. That's what happens. Anthony turns it up. He's like,
Yes. And they're like, wow, what a change.
That was great. I loved it. I absolutely loved that because I was used to hating him. And so at that moment, I was like, he could actually be cool if he wanted to be. For me.
Even though he was only dancing and doing all that because of the
but he was role. I mean, it was dope. I liked the energy.
I could see how there could be a certain personality that would just detest putting on a costume like that.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Because it would be.
I don't know if anybody would be. I don't know if anybody was comfortable in that costume. I don't think even Ha-ni was comfortable in that costume.
You would be comfortable in that. That's my husband.
Do you see that? Do you see it? Did you hear that accusation, that accusatory tone that she was taking with me right now? Like,
listen, I kind of remember when I
could be a mascot. I could be the Squid Good mascot. Absolutely.
Yeah, you would love it. So I remember when Alana was a Girl Scout selling cookies. Didn't you wear the big cookie costume?
I wore the cookie costume
out in the corner,
and I was very active with the sign and pointing people to the cookie stand.
So we had a cookie, a big chocolate mint cookie with a sash or something.
The thin mint cookie, yes.
Yeah, and I think Bruce put it on.
I put it on.
I think I remember that.
And I start once I loosen up, like once I first put it on, it's like I gotta get into character. And
at first you were like,
I was like,
I know,
I really want to do this, and then all of a sudden it's like I start having fun. I start realizing it's more important for us to sell cookies, and so let me go ahead and put some energy into this, and I wound up having a great time.
Yeah, what were you voted in high school? You were voted as something.
Well, actually, I was voted as class gossip.
Something else
in high school.
Were you
no, it's like they didn't have Mr. Spirit that year.
Oh, that's why.
That surely, if they would have had that category, I definitely would have been Mr. Spirit.
Gossip, but you're not a gossip.
I'm not.
But it's so funny. Your cousin got the same because they pick a girl and a guy.
Yep.
I should post it on Instagram.
Marisa, my cousin, my beautiful cousin.
We'd have to ask her if it's okay.
Yeah, I got class gossip, but if there was Mr. Spirit, well, I was the president of the Wildcat Spirit Club. Thank you very much, and I am personally responsible for creating at least 2 cheers that continue to this day, 30 years later, at El Camino. I
That's
just
what he
want you to
says. That's what he
understand. Oh yeah,
says, but
no,
we don't know.
absolutely. No, absolutely. I'm responsible for those.
That's what you say. We do not have evidence. There's no evidence.
They didn't exist before I did them, therefore
Okay.
they're mine.
If you say so, Mr. Hoskins. So the young Ha-ni suspects that Anthony was Shunsiki. The guy.
That's how you say his name?
Shunsiki. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he changed his name when he was younger.
Yeah.
Love that little kid. I just love him. Don't you just like him?
What, the little
Shunsiki, yeah.
The bully?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he was a bully, but he's just so funny. It just makes me laugh.
Oh, okay.
No?
No.
I think he's funny.
I just remember the bullying parts more so.
That's true.
And
That's
so
true. I
I
forgot
always
about that.
feel so I feel like, you know, it's appropriate what's happening to him. And so yeah, and so Hani, she starts keying in for some reason. It's like she might see something familiar about his face.
The mole.
No, the thing that started it all was how he was attacking those sandwiches.
Yes, the
how
salad.
He was eating the salad sandwiches. I still don't know. We still don't know what exactly a salad sandwich is, but
okay. So I read this little article that the K-pop stars eat this particular sandwich.
Oh.
And they gave a recipe and everything. And anyways, that's all I know.
Salad sandwich.
I think it's a salad sandwich, but they're like, you could be like the K-pop stars and eat this sandwich.
Yeah. And so he's like eating them very enthusiastically, which reminds her of him eating that. And then, but remember, they keyed it back to the kiss. Remember, like, because the older Hani, younger Hani, they were like having this moment, like, say something that you would only remember. It's like, remember that time when you accidentally kissed him and it tastes like salad sandwich or something like that?
Yeah.
And then they did this with their mouth and everything. Yeah, that was kind of cool. That was cool. I liked it.
So she remembers him as a young kid loving those sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
And then
she sees the mole. And
then she wants to confirm it.
Yes.
So she spikes his coffee with milk. That's so wrong.
Bad. That is so wrong.
Can you imagine being known, the kid in school being known for having a milk allergy? Like, what would have to happen for everybody to know you have a milk allergy? How many accidents have you would have to have?
Yeah.
It is bad because as soon as he drink it,
yeah, it tears through his system.
Yeah. So anyway, so she knows that who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And
if he wasn't such a jerk, I would feel bad for him having such a big
I know
allergy.
he is a jerk. That's right. But I see something good in him.
Do you?
I do. I see a little something.
Was it before or after the squid dance? After he broke down? After he just got busy in the squid outfit?
I don't know. But I see like he's a little bit of a jerk for a reason. And then we're gonna find out later why.
We shall see.
I think he's probably good inside. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so we have a scene with Hyun and Hani. They're in the car. And so she's still kind of thinking he's up to something.
Yeah.
So she starts telling him, look, I don't got any money. I have a 17-year-old daughter. And then he's like, who's the father? Because they kind of they were at the same age.
Right.
So maybe I thought he was thinking, maybe I know him. So, but she says, I don't know. And he's like, he gets this look and he's like, I never took you for one of those people. Mm-hmm. And then he says, no wonder your kid's a brat.
Dang. Yeah. Okay. We're not allowed to slut shame nowadays. That would be.
I'm just repeating.
No, I know. I'm not saying that you're saying it. It was like, but that like here in the United States, like that there's, that's not.
Okay. So Hani leaves a note for Anthony on the mirror.
Yes.
And she is like, I know what you did last summer. Remember that movie? But she says, I know what you did when you were 17. What did he do? Or she just saying that?
I think
did he really do something? Do you think he did something?
That's an excellent question. We'll see how that all unfolds, but yeah. Okay.
So Hani and Hyun get the packaging and they take a detour home to make it quicker. Right. They got to get back. So this is where they find that there's a young kid that's in like the lake drowning.
Yeah.
And so obviously she's Superman. So she has to go save him.
Yes.
And this is your second
No, this is
your
the first
key.
sentence.
Oh, the first sentence. That was genius.
Oh yeah, using the snack bags as a life preserver. That was
Yeah.
very, very quick thinking. I was very impressed with that.
Oh my gosh. I'm thinking we should always have a bag of chips in the car, like one big bag just in case.
Just in case, yes, just in case we find someone in a reservoir. I still don't understand why they were in the reservoir in the first
It's
place.
a young kid. You never know what young kids are going to get
I
themselves
mean, they were
into.
fully dressed, and so it's like, were they committing suicide? Like this,
Who,
this is a real thing. I
who cares?
was really okay. We
You know,
don't
young
care.
kids, they do dumb stuff all the time. He just fell
But
in.
they normally don't do dumb stuff by themselves, right?
No,
It's
they do
like,
dumb
but
stuff.
it could have been suicide. I don't want to.
But they didn't even suggest
They
anything like
did
that.
not suggest any of that. So let's go
Basically,
ahead
he
and
was
move
in
on.
there.
He was in there
He
for
was
whatever
probably trying to
reason.
pick something out and fell in or something.
Yeah.
But she saves him, and all the people there watching start eating the snacks.
I thought that
I
was
felt for
so.
her. I
Yeah.
felt for her when she came out of the water. Like, what else could go wrong?
Yeah. That was I thought that was.
But it worked for her.
Yeah.
It actually worked for her advantage, to her advantage,
No, for sure.
because
Yeah,
they
for sure.
liked the snack.
Yeah, they were like, man, the stress of it just made me want to eat snacks. I'm like,
They're all like
that
a movie.
was so forced. That was, I mean, it was kind of, yeah. And so, and I kid you not, right before that happened, Hume brought those like the two boxes to the
That's
shore,
right.
and I'm like,
Weird?
why did he
Yes.
do that? And then they start eating the snack. I'm like, oh
So
wow, but it felt a bit forced, but it was.
It was funny.
It was at least it was funny. Like if you're gonna do something like that, at least be funny. Pull it off. You got to pull it off, and I thought they did a decent job of pulling it off.
So they didn't eat all of them, but they ate most of them.
Well, they
There was
didn't
a
eat
few
the
left.
ones in the life preserver. That's the only ones they didn't eat.
Yeah. So because later you'll see, like, she's like, this is all I have left.
Yeah.
But okay. So what was cool about that scene is that she says that she was brave. She was brave 20, or I think Hugh says it, that she was brave 20 years ago and still is.
Mm-hmm.
And then he even kind of scolds her a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you could have died.
He does. Yeah.
So we'll see later what happens. And then so when they get back, Miss O, her friend, she gets scolded again.
Yep.
And basically
You got to take responsibility. You're an adult.
Yeah.
Take responsibility.
How are you going to take responsibility for this? And she basically tells her to just give up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she says, I want you off my team.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where the young Ha-ni, and I don't really remember the scene, but this is where the young Ha-ni finds out who Mrs. O is, that it's her.
Well, because the young
young
Ha-ni
friend,
comes
friend.
up the stairs, right? So
That's-
they're having this, this discussion in the stairwell. Right?
Yes.
The young Ha-ni comes
That's right.
in, and and as a matter of fact, the young Ha-ni saves the older Ha-ni because Miss O, she's begging for her job and her place on the team still. Miss O pushes her, and she almost falls down the stairwell, and then the young Ha-ni saves her. And they have
the
that
young
spat.
Ha-ni
Yeah,
says
and the
something to
young
her.
Ha-ni goes in, and reminds us of what of who Ha-ni really is, right? And she goes in on Mrs. O, and
that's why. And so that's Mrs.
and
O
then
backs
found
off.
out. She backs off.
backs
She
off.
felt really bad about pushing her and having her almost fall in, and so she just kind of like melts down
And then
in that
leaves.
space and then leaves. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. So this is where Miss O has that flashback of them in the hospital right after the accident.
Yep.
And she had made Ha-ni like this memory journal for when she came back.
Mm-hmm.
And Ha-ni throws it at her.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the end of their relationship, I'm thinking. It ended like that.
Yeah,
that's why it was kind of bad.
Well, yeah, because Ha-ni in her grief, she was just like, what about, it's like nothing's gonna be all right. Is any of this gonna bring back my dad? Right. And that I'm the one that is responsible for him to die. Like, right. And so it's like it literally is that moment that we knew already, but we kind of needed to have it filmed and shown, like, okay, this was the end of their relationship.
Yeah.
And
how did it end?
And this is how Ha-ni hasn't, accepted responsibility, if you would, for her father's death.
Yeah, we see that Hani eats another one of those snacks that has the fortune on them. And it's I love it. It's so cute. It says every flower will attract bees and butterflies. So I think that kind of talks about this episode too towards the end.
Right.
So young Hani and Honey, I think, are back at their apartment and they think they see a ghost.
Yeah.
And so they call Hyun and he comes over and he looks inside. And then he kind of flirts with Honey. Remember, he adjusts her sweater and stuff like that. And then that's when the young Honey thinks that he's flirting again.
Right.
With her mom.
Yes.
But did you catch so Bruce and I watched this separately. We were like sick all week, so I was feeling okay. So I thought I'm just gonna go ahead and watch it without Bruce because I don't know if I'm gonna have a relapse or something.
Right.
So we watched this separately. Did you see a woman with a wig?
Yes.
Okay.
Or a person with the wig. I don't know.
Walks by, right?
Yep.
What did you think? Anything?
Nothing yet.
Nothing?
Nothing yet.
Okay. Who do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Strange. Okay.
I'm not even I literally am not even going to try to guess this one yet.
Okay.
I need a little bit more evidence in order for me to give y'all one of my classic mark the tape type of moments.
Okay. So this, going back to Joa Confectionery, there are all the important people are watching the video. The news,
yes, because of course in our social media world, Hani's heroism got captured on film and went viral. Yes, loved it.
Totally, because she used the snacks. This is where it came to her advantage. Yep. Because they're watching it, and who says what a fascinating woman she is? Somebody says that, and you see Mrs. O. She looks
I think it's the CEO.
Yeah, so she's feeling a little bad or defeated or whatever. But so then I think he tells them to start making them because
everything in the
commercial.
What's that?
He said something like, we don't need the commercial, or we don't need that meeting, that important meeting.
Yeah.
Because he's like,
this is the commercial. Yeah. Everybody's looking for the snacks. It had 300,000 hits, and everybody in the thing is like, yo, where can I get these snacks? All the grocery stores and all of that stuff, they're like, we need these snacks. And so he was just like, just go full production. We're going to use this as the commercial.
Yeah.
We're good.
So I'm gonna skip a little bit up a little bit. This is where they have a meeting, the little workplace. They go to a dinner.
Yeah.
And Mrs. O does not want to give credit to Hani. She's like, we're all
part of the team.
And I was like, I get that, but no, she could have gave Hani her props and be like, look, this all really happened because what you did.
Yes.
But she didn't want to.
Correct.
So anyways, okay, but we'll talk more about that one. Anthony learns that the young Hani wrote the note. How did he find out? I can't remember.
Because the cameras caught the
kelp.
That's
right.
They saw her in the kelp costume, and it doesn't take much detective work to figure out who it was from there.
Yes. So I guess they bring her in, and so she threatens them.
Yes.
What is it that she wants? But because she says, I guess if they kept antagonizing her or something, that she was going to tell everyone who Anthony is, and she has picture evidence
of
them two together.
Yep.
And so I guess it's a big deal. He does not want those pictures out.
He does not want those pictures out.
Okay. So
he does not want anyone to know that he is that dude.
So then there's a flashback on how he took those pictures with her, because those pictures are from like those photo booths you take at the fair. And how does that happen? He just sneaks in. She's there with her friend, and he sneaks in, right?
Yeah.
And they take the picture.
Yeah.
She has her.
Like he forces himself into the space. Why don't you be my girlfriend? That's the whole
thing he wants.
And she's like, and then she wants to, and then the photo booth starts.
So is that creepy now?
Yes.
Like him.
It's been creepy, but you know what? But back then, I mean, let's think about it. 30 years ago,
like you would have guys that were like that. That would just, and you would just be like,
they're insistent. I mean, this is before the whole.
It's so strange because Oh, okay. So I'm having this little. We just watched one of my favorite movies, Somewhere in Time.
Oof, oof.
So with Christopher Reeves, who used to be Superman. If any of you, if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's such a so many people love, and Jane Seymour. She's
James, oh my
gorgeous,
goodness.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
She's
man.
still gorgeous.
Yeah.
But this was what did we look up? Was 70s? No, 80s when this was made.
Yeah, I think it
Christopher
was the
Reeves.
80s.
Okay, so it's funny because I haven't seen that movie in years, but I know it's one of my old time favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my cousin and her husband's absolute favorite movie, and her
Yes.
dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were talking about it, and so I thought, oh my gosh, let me watch it. And Alana and Bruce decided to watch with me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're watching it. And I hate when this happens. This has been happening where you're watching it and you're like, oh wow, is this that is this creepy when we watched it? Like it was creepy.
Yeah.
But I was talking to my cousin too, and Alana, and I was like, look, times were different. Well, this was only the 80s, but the it took place
Times were
even
different in the
earlier.
80s. Like literally,
And even
times were
going
different in the
back
80s. Yeah.
farther, I understand that there were people that did things that were not right. A lot, there were a lot of people. That's why
Mm-hmm.
we are where we are now,
Yes.
where you can't do stuff like that anymore because there's a lot of people that took advantage.
Yes.
And I get that. And so I'm trying to figure out, am I fit? Was it really not okay ever? Or was it okay at one time to be like that? I don't know. Anyways, I'm still trying to figure that out. Like maybe it was never
Culturally,
okay.
no, culturally, it was okay for a man to be, the
A
word
little
we
more
would use
aggressive.
is persistence.
Okay.
That's the word that you would use when
But
the
was it
person that
ever
you like, or when the male is, I'm going to say it like this because it's kind of like when the male is attractive,
it's okay?
is the word is persistent. When the male is not attractive, it is creepy, it is unwanted, and you can be as mad about that as you want, but that's like the difference between talking about how like when you're poor, you're weird. When you're rich, you're eccentric, right? We literally have different words. When you steal, when you're poor, you are a thief. Or you have stolen something, right? When you are rich and you steal something, is embezzlement or something, right? It's like we literally have different words to describe these situations. So therefore, was it ever okay if the dude is smoking hot like Christopher Reeves is?
It was okay. So there was a scene.
Then it's fine.
Okay, so we're watching it and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so creepy. You can't do that. But also too, it was like back then, you fell in love one time. And you like me, I was talking to my cousin. It's like, look, we didn't date a whole bunch of people. Like you fell for somebody one time and you stayed with them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how
The
it was
idea,
supposed to be,
so
right?
in the 80s, this was a little bit after, and so we still had during this time, but so this is definitely a cultural phenomenon, and where we still had the idea that love was, that there was such a thing as soulmates, that there
Yeah.
is such a thing as true love, and that when you get married is forever, right? That's and that's a super romantic kind of idea and everything. Don't think of romance, right? Think of romantic, right? It's like love on these incredible odds, and fate, right? That's the idea. um and so then when you're looking at when you're looking at this, then like culturally, right, we're still at that in the 80s. We're still getting used to the idea of the new divorces, right? Because divorces at that time just turned over to no fault divorces. And so this is a real thing. As a matter of fact, there was a movie with Drew Barrymore, a very young Drew Barrymore, called Irreconcilable Differences. And so this literally, you see a shift, right, in our society, where when we switched over to, you can get a divorce for basically anything, that would be irreconcilable differences. You literally can get a divorce for anything. Our divorce rates go screaming up, right? It's like people are getting divorced left and right. And in the United States, we have the highest divorce culture. Like this is measured and all of this stuff and everything researched out. And what I'm saying though, right, is that this transition, that to me, like a movie like that kind of marks the transition. Like here we are still getting used to divorce culture, but people still have the idea that you fall in love, you get married, and you stay together forever.
And it was just like
and
a
so
2-hour movie.
yeah, and it
So,
wasn't,
like,
yeah. And so I mean, you can't handle all of that. No, I mean, you would
yeah.
never be able to handle all of that in just one movie. But anyway, but that is so you're
going
asking,
back,
was there ever a time? Yes, absolutely. What were we dealing with at the time? We were dealing with the shifting idea of what of divorce and what marriage is, but
so
this
if
was
you're
definitely
younger,
soulmates.
so if you're younger, for the most part, that wasn't really so creepy to us.
It was not. It was
Unless you
stated.
unless you made it creepy. And I get it. I get that there were situations that should have never happened.
For sure.
Yeah. So, but for the most part, yeah, that was okay. A man needed to assert himself like that a little bit.
He needed to be persistent.
Yeah. And maybe also too, because the person he was persistent with, we also held back a lot. We were taught to hold back.
Yes.
So in order to let that person know, hey, I really like you, you had to be persistent.
Yeah.
Because
good girls were not supposed to be so free with their affection. And so you had to, as a man, you were taught you have to be a bit more persistent, because the good girls, they're gonna resist you. And so, yes. But this causes a whole bunch of challenges in our society.
It's so
we could talk about, it's like, do we get to a space of saying rape culture or whatever? But
it's hard.
We don't need to get there necessarily, to just say that our society has socialized men and women into certain behaviors, and it's definitely have changed.
It's a weird thing too, because I'm like, was I wrong to tell our kids I was operating on old customs when I was like, look, if you like her, you got to tell her. Like, show up at her work and let her know you like her. Like, that's what they did when I was growing up and I had a job. If the guy liked me, he would show up at my job.
Yeah.
Buy a soda or something and just sit there.
Right.
Like literally, that's what you would do.
Mm-hmm.
You would sit there and you would wait. And that's how you knew. And I was telling our boys, and I don't know if it was Michael or Carter, which one, it's like, it might have been our oldest, because he was always like afraid to ask girls out or timid. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, look, if you like her, just tell her, let her know. You have to let her know, or else they're not going to know.
Right.
But that, I like Anthony, when he was young, it's like, he didn't have to be all up in her face, obviously, right? But so now I'm feeling like
persistent, insistent,
because you got to let the girl know. But I think nowadays you don't have to do that anymore.
No, you definitely still need to let the girl know. It's just how much do you persist after that?
And then you just wait for.
Yeah, you got to kind of, you let them know, and then you kind of have to like give them space and wait.
It's weird because then, like, when you and I met, you kind of said something and I was like, no. And then you left. You were just like, I think, right?
Yep,
that's what in your mind.
Yes.
In your mind, you were like, no, she didn't,
Oh, I backed off completely.
Yeah, quickly. But then I was like, oh, I don't think he's going to ask me out again, which is probably what I was thinking, which is probably what I was used to. It's like, I'm not used to somebody just backing off one time.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you not come back? Why are you not persistent? Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, I guess I should say something then, which was a little difficult for me too, as a woman who was taught, kind of grew up to taught that you don't really do that. You don't pursue the guy. Mm-hmm. But I thought, well, I guess I'm going to have to and see what happens. I'll say something. So that, anyways, we went off.
I'm a weirdo. No. I think that was good to say. It's
that's the 90s. It was changing.
Understand, folks, I am a man. I was a man before my time.
Or you were scared of women.
That too. But no, I was for real. The things that Alice, like that little thing right there, is like it's so me that's exactly what happened. Right. It's like, I asked and you said no. And I'm like, okay, she's not interested. And then I didn't persist at all. while our friend would have just kept he actually still to this day persists, if you would, not like really, but just saying, it's like, and we talk about it, we joke about it and everything, but I didn't. And Alice wound up basically asking me out, and I said, are you paying?
That was, yeah, it's weird. It was weird.
Yeah, it was definitely
changing.
weird.
It was
I asked
changing.
permission to kiss her the first time. I asked permission, and that was
weird for me too.
And this was something, like I said, I'm a man before my time, because now that is, I don't want to say it's normal, but I'm just saying it's not weird to say that. While back then it was definitely weird. Okay. It was like, yo.
So we took a lot of time talking about that, which is okay. But let's skip over real quick the whole karaoke scene. They have their little competition.
I like the back and forth. I like that. I like the tension between Mrs. O and the older Hani. I like the tension. It's
and then they have the scene in the bathroom where she's asking for another chance. She didn't want to be an embarrassment to her daughter, so she's asking Miss O for, give her another chance. That's kind of what happened there. And Miss O says something. It's like, this is what the when they the interpretation or the translation, she says something like, you radiated 20 years ago and you're radiating now.
It's starting to come back.
It's starting to come back.
Right.
So I think we're almost done anyways.
We are almost done.
I was like, oh my gosh, we have like 2 more pages of notes.
Yeah, because because it was like earlier in the episode, because it was when the younger Hani was in the kelp costume still. It's like they were in the older, the Hanis were together and they were washing off the makeup, and Miss O was trapped in the bathroom.
Yes.
And so she sees the daughter and she's like, oh my gosh, she looks so much like the spitting image of you.
Yes.
And so then fast forward to that bathroom scene, it was like, he's like, it seems like you're trying to, get back on because, you don't want to be a disappointment to your child. And so she just kind of lets her come back.
Yeah. So there's this secret meeting. So we never figured out who the older woman in Hyun's family. Is it an auntie? Is it the wife of the CEO? But she has a meeting, was it with the doctor? But they discuss medical records. So I think this is what's going to happen.
It's a detective.
The father's probably sick, huh? We talked about this before.
Yeah, well, the father is definitely. We do not have it confirmed, but yes.
They were going to find out something's going to happen, and I think that's going to wake up Hyun.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So we know that the other guy in the company is not Hyun's brother. It is a cousin, because he called the CEO. The CEO calls him a nephew or something.
Okay.
So that's why I think this is important for Hyun to get on track, because he's the heir.
Okay.
He should be the heir.
Right.
So that's probably why.
So then it would make sense that if that's his aunt, it would make, then that would make that woman, the older woman, the aunt then.
Yeah. Rather
than the wife. But anyway,
I'm not sure.
We'll still figure it out.
Okay. This is cute. Hani has a flashback. I think she's a little drunk coming home from the dinner.
The older Hani, yes.
I am feeling so much better now. I want to go eat Korean food. Like, I'm just, because I was thinking about them having dinner, and I'm like, I think I'd like to have that little cup of noodle Korean spicy. Yeah, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I found a Korean top ramen.
Okay.
At the dollar store. And I ate it the other day because I was kind of craving like a kimchi. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyways, okay. I had to say that just because
you're starting to feel better.
I'm feeling better.
Exactly.
So, okay, so she has a flashback of her dancing. And so she's dancing and Hyun's watching her.
Yeah.
And so they're talking, and she just says, I'm on cloud 9. For the first time in 20 years, I was awesome.
Yes.
And it's the whole saving the kid thing.
Yeah.
And so she kind of faints, and this is where piggyback.
Yes, the back carry, the significance of the back carry in the Korean dramas. Let's get it.
Yes, he gives her a piggyback, right? And she says,
I still don't understand how you get someone in that position. I mean, like
You
it's
bend
like
down.
if someone is passed out, getting someone in that back carry position is almost impossible.
She passed out a little bit, but she's still awake.
I mean, I
She's
get
just
it, but at the same time, it's like, yeah. Anyway,
stop it. So
I'm
she
just saying,
says,
if you pass out, ain't gonna be no back carry at the best. It's gonna be a front carry, a basket carry, and that'll only last for a couple minutes because that's a
yes. So
or a
she,
fireman's carry.
either one's
Anyway,
fine. She says, this reminds me of my dad, and she
oh my
cries.
goodness, yeah, that broke my heart.
And so the last scene of this episode, Anthony finds out where they live and he is looking for them.
Yes,
Remember that? And he opens the door, and who does he see? Not Ha-ni.
correct.
Hyun.
Mm-hmm.
And they already have.
They got a little thing. They already got a little thing going on for sure.
So this is going to be cute. I kind of like the little the little fight that's going to happen between the two guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little competition. It's cute to see that sometimes.
We'll see.
A healthy competition.
We shall see.
I remember when we were dating, you had to call somebody and tell them, like, back off, I'm here. Do you remember?
I do remember.
Yeah, we don't ever talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, and you bring it up, and
yeah,
like you're trying to upset me again.
You were upset? You weren't upset. Were you upset? That was a long time ago. That's
so like this was Talk K Dramas.
Literally almost 30 years ago.
So this is Talk K Dramas with Bruce and Alice. Visit us at the website. Make sure you download.
And if you haven't watched this on YouTube, just don't watch episode 5. Because I look like I was possessed. I look like an ugly dragon possessed by COVID. I would look like
still beautiful to me.
Dragon possessed.
Anyway.
Yes.
Bye.
Check us out on Instagram or YouTube. Thanks for listening.
All right. Bye.
Bye.